Hey guys, this is Rob from ASUS, and today I want to give you a quick hands-on the new Transformer Pad TF300. This is something that really is the follow-up to the original Transformer. That was the TF101, and I'm going to give you guys a quick look at some of the specs on this thing, some of the different ports, and really what's new and what's different versus the original Transformer and also versus the Transformer Prime. And really the main difference on the TF300 is on the back, and that's where we get this really nice concentric circle design. And of course the back of this is plastic, but it does take a lot of the design inspiration from the ZenBook and also from the Prime, and that plastic case is going to be a lot better for your GPS and your Wi-Fi signal, so it really is something that comes in quite in handy. Now you do have one speaker here on the right hand side, and beyond that, everything else is pretty much the same as what you had on the previous tablet. So you do have the same keyboard docking mechanism on the bottom. On the other side here, I've got one micro SD card slot. This supports up to 32 gigabytes, so it's really great to add a lot of video or music if you got a lot of that kind of thing on your storage. Next, you do have a micro HDMI slot, and with this you can actually export even 1080p video to your TV, so that's also quite handy. Beyond that, everything's pretty similar. We've got volume toggle, your power buttons at the top here, and you've got a headphone jack on the other side. Now, key to point out, you do have a 1.2 megapixel camera on the front here. So this is really great for Skyping, that kind of thing, but the real camera power comes on the back, and that's where we do have this 8 megapixel camera with actually quite a wide aperture of 2.2, so this is going to be quite handy for even low light conditions. Dimensions wise, the TF300 is about 1.40 pounds and just about 0.39 inches thick, so it's actually incredibly thin for a tablet. And if I compare it to the Transformer Prime, you can see that there isn't really a lot of difference here. The Prime is about 0.33 inches, so it's almost exactly the same. And if I compare the weight, I can't really tell the difference. I know the TF300 is about 0.1 pounds heavier, but you can't really tell any kind of difference holding them. So it's a really nice size and not a huge difference versus the Prime, but a lot lighter and slimmer than the original Transformer TF101. Spec-wise, again, the TF300 and the Prime are very similar. Both have Tegra 3 NVIDIA quad-core processors. They both have 1 GB of RAM and Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich. The only main differences here are with the screen and with storage. So they both do have IPS displays that are 1280 by 800 pixel resolution, but the Transformer Prime does have that Super IPS Plus. However, you can tell that really still have extremely good viewing angles, and it's quite bright even without the IPS Plus display. Also with the storage, you now have options of 16 or 32 gigabytes instead of 32 or 64, but you do have that micro SD card slot, so that really will come into play if you need extra storage. But by far, in my opinion, the most important thing about the Transformer, we haven't talked about it yet, is the keyboard docking station. And I'll show you guys how it works here. The tablet just docks right into place, and I can snap it in, and it locks really nicely here. So basically now what it's doing is I've got a tablet that's now turned into basically a full notebook, and the keyboard is actually going to charge the tablet as well. So the tablet has a 10-hour battery life, but the keyboard has an extra battery that gives me an additional 5 hours, and it'll actually charge the tablet if the tablet's low. So it's a really great feature to have. You can see now that it's charging it. It's a really great additional benefit of having the keyboard docking station. So you can see I've got a full keyboard now. I've got a touchpad, I've got mouse keys, and I've also got a lot of extra ports too. So you can see this looks a lot better. It looks really like a full notebook. And I've got a USB 2.0 port here. I could add a wireless mouse there or even an external hard drive. And I've also got now a full SD card reader that I could add even more storage with. So really a lot of options are added with the keyboard. Obviously the most important option is now I've got a lot more productivity. So if I was going to create a document, for example, I have Polaris Office here. And with Polaris I can create Word, Excel, or PowerPoint equivalents that will actually work in Microsoft Office. So I could create a spreadsheet, and I could save this and then open it in MS Office on my desktop at home. I can also go in and create documents using something called Supernote, and Supernote's really cool because, for For example, you could do your math homework with this. I could, draw my fractions, all kind of things. So I could do my math homework. I could actually go back and delete each of these characters individually the way I inputted them. Or I could input them all at once and then delete them all at once. So it's a really cool feature. You could also import or add graphs, for example. So rather than going into MS Paint and flipping between your Word and MS Paint when you're doing homework, you can actually just add things and make them part of your notes. So SuperNote is really a cool program. And of course, this is 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich. I can close programs by dismissing them like that, or jump back into them. So I've got Angry Birds here, for example. Maybe not the best example of Tiger 3 graphics, but it is free on Android 4.0, so it's really cool to have Angry Birds on there. Alright guys, so that's the Transformer Pad TF300. Definitely let us know what you guys think in the comments. Tell us what your favorite feature is, and don't forget to like the video. Also, definitely subscribe to ASUS North America on YouTube. This thing is available now. It's only $379 for the 16 gig version and $399 for the 32 gigabyte version. So awesome price, awesome tablet. Definitely check it out. Thanks for watching.